But your romance starts in IIT Delhi only? No.
So with Vidit, yes, we spent.
No, not the Vidit romance. The wife romance. Shalvi's romance.
Acha, you mean that romance, not a business romance? I thought, okay.
इनके 10 साल में 9 posts है Instagram पे. That's how much he talks on social media. But yes,
So,
now we can continue.
Yeah, I'm trying to build that habit. But
1 post a year is good. Hello and welcome to Mashable Mornings.
Thank
Sanjeev,
you.
क्या हाल है
Nice meeting
आपके?
you. All good. अच्छा चल रहा है. Thank you for doing this.
ये है मेरी मीशो. मेरी शॉप. Actually मेरी
your
2 बार हो
shop,
गया.
Yes.
But I did not
आपकी
know. I was today
moving
years
shop.
old to learn that मीशो का full form मेरी शॉप है.
No, yeah, I think when we started, तो हमारा vision वही था कि we wanted to give every seller their own store.
हाँ.
तो ये vision था and then we tried to understand, we tried to brainstorm कि नाम क्या होना चाहिए कंपनी का.
हाँ.
And हमने कुछ 10 नाम निकाले होंगे.
सही है.
And then we thought मेरी शॉप से मीशो बन गया. And some checks के it should end with a vowel, 2 syllables and blah blah.
वो सिंगल नेम वाला आइटम नहीं बताया किसी ने आपको कि भाई एक सिंगल वर्ड हो तो ज्यादा अच्छा चलता है.
सिंगल वर्ड तो नहीं बताया किसी ने. आई थिंक समवन सेड कि 2 syllable चलेगा.
अच्छा.
फाइन, मी शो, आई थिंक इट वर्क्स.
Fair enough.
एंड जब शुरू किया था तो या आई थिंक पीपल वर वी डिड फियर कि पीपल माइट गेट कंफ्यूज कि MESHO है, MESHO है, व्हाट इज दैट स्पेलिंग, एंड इवेंचुअली पीपल गॉट टू इट. सो
नहीं मतलब मेशो जो होते हैं वो तो बंगाली में फूफा भी होते हैं ना इसीलिए.
आई डिडंट नो दैट.
Yes.
अच्छा.
हाँ.
आई नो दैट मीसे इज
I
शॉप
think मेशो जीजा जी होते हैं. मेरे इन-लॉज मुझे मारेंगे ये देखने के बाद.
Oh yeah, I think in Japanese mise is shop. So
Okay.
that is another association. I have stayed in Japan for 3
Yes,
years.
of course. ये लाने वाला था मैं जापान
So, but
आपका.
how mise is shop in Japanese, so that is also another.
तो क्या
way
जापान
to prove.
expansion on the cards?
No, I don't think so. I think this model doesn't work in developed countries probably.
Really?
Yeah, I think this model is more geared towards value conscious consumers. Versus in developed countries people seek more convenience. So
Fair enough.
इसलिए feel कि India is the right place.
लेकिन आपकी पूरी जिंदगी रांची से चालू होती है.
हजारीबाग से चालू हुई.
हजारीबाग.
It's even
ये कितना दूर आया?
I think 100 kilometers
From
रांची से हाँ. And काफी छोटी जगह है.
तो हजारीबाग कितना बड़ा गांव है भाई?
हजारीबाग in simple terms end to end without traffic can cover in maybe 15-20 minutes.
Oh wow.
Like it's very small place and
Crazy.
Yeah, I think कुछ 5 किलोमीटर होगा.
हाँ.
So yeah, I think
Very cool.
nice place.
मतलब वहाँ मीशो है?
वहाँ मीशो is everywhere.
मीशो तो मतलब हर जगह है. But
Exactly.
वहाँ के कोई sellers मीशो पे?
वहाँ के बहुत सारे users हैं. So like
Fair enough.
lot of people in my own colony, मोहल्ला, like they use Meesho a lot for a very long time, and I don't think they knew that I had founded Meesho. काफी late पता चला उन्हें, and then they said nice.
जैसे ढोल नगाड़ों के साथ स्वागत नहीं हुआ आपका शहर
ऐसा
में?
हुआ तो नहीं, but I did hear stories like शादियों में कभी discussion होता है like वहाँ कि हाँ वो I think yeah like Sanjeev has done really well. Meesho तो अच्छा चल रहा है.
Superb.
I'm lucky that nobody has reached out to me saying कि यार ये product खराब आ गया, return ले लो. Return नहीं हो रहा है. I'm lucky that people are not reaching out to me yet for that.
चलो touch wood. That's not a bad thing, but
Yeah, no,
e-commerce
definitely.
में होते हुए that is one of the things that you had to factor in.
Yes,
मतलब
yes.
with the price points you all serve,
No.
my biggest question always is कि यार इतने में रिटर्न भी हो पाते हैं क्या?
Exactly. मतलब that is where we supply chain ऐसे बनाया है कि it's sustainable and
Okay.
it's still like and we are profitable. Like we became
Touch wood.
profitable.
Yes, congratulations on that.
Thank you. And
This year 2023 you became
exactly 2023 July, and then we have stayed profitable for the last 2 quarters as well, or for after that 2 quarters as well.
3,500 करोड़ कमाया.
3,500 crore.
3,349 crores is what I had read.
I think yeah, overall I think we say कि यार GMV is 5 billion over a year, but हाँ मतलब converted to maybe profits and so on, like I don't think 3,500 crore profit होगा, much lower than that, but अभी disclose तो नहीं कर रहे.
Fair enough. But congratulations, that is
Thank
big
you.
shit within a decade. I mean 8 years since you all founded, right?
Yeah, exactly 8 years.
तो ये बताओ
big deal.
क्या सोच के निकलना पड़ता है? 5 things if somebody had to take and say कि अगले 2 साल मेरे को अपना खुद का धंधा बिल्ड करना है. ये चीज होनी चाहिए मेरे पास.
Just one comment there, like 2 साल काफी छोटा टाइम है to build a धंधा.
कितना बड़ा?
I think if you're getting into entrepreneurship, like 10 years तो कहीं नहीं गया, like just
Really?
हाँ, probably like if you want to build a really big business,
Okay.
10 साल तो लगेंगे ही, so be confident that you'll be able to, and the problem that you're solving should be exciting enough to keep you motivated for 10 years, because वो भी
And a problem that should be viable, मतलब 10 साल बाद कोई और दुनिया ना solve कर दे.
And it's hard to predict, but you'll have to go after larger opportunities and stay motivated through ups and downs. But वो एक है. दूसरा, I feel staying close to users, we call it user first internally. Meesho में हमारा एक मंत्रा है, और we can call
तो ऐसा प्रोडक्ट चुनो जो यूजर फर्स्ट हो,
नहीं,
या कुछ भी
ऐसी
सर्विस.
माइंडसेट रखो जो यूजर फर्स्ट हो,
Fair
which is कि you always go back to your users
ठीक है.
to understand what problems to solve, whether a problem is working out or whether a solution is working out or not.
Okay.
Any new insight. So basically build a team in such a way that user first is ingrained right at their core.
Okay.
Like you cannot build a product in silos while sitting at your office, in your office. Like you have to go back to your users and तभी आप अच्छा business बना पाओगे.
चलो ये समझ लिया कि यूजर का मतलब है, गरज है उसको.
Exactly. फिर तीसरी आती है कि I think build fast and fail fast, because अगर problem hard है तो solve करने में उसे बहुत time लगेगा.
Okay.
And very likely you will not know what is the right solution in the first iteration itself. तो आप 10 चीजें try करोगे, 9 will not work out.
Okay.
Maybe 1 will. And hence you have to try out your ideas very quickly. So
Okay.
MVP concept जो होता है
जी.
कि you build it very quickly. Most minimum viable product जो होता है
Yes.
कि you spend the minimum amount of time required to try an idea.
Okay.
build करो, launch करो, be very scrappy. For example, हमने अपना मीशो मार्केट प्लेस व्हाट्सएप पे बनाया था. लाइक वी डिड नॉट द फर्स्ट वर्जन
ग्रुप में.
एग्जैक्टली व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप पे टू ट्राई इट आउट कि लोगों को चाहिए भी या नहीं चाहिए. मतलब वी कैन ऑलवेज बी वेरी ऑप्टिमिस्टिक एंड से कि यार ये तो चाहिए, बट डू पीपल रियली वांट. सो आई थिंक that being scrappy, learning fast, failing fast, building fast, and then quickly trying out your ideas. So that MVP mindset has to be always there. So basically everything else is just a milestone. Your first fundraise is a milestone. You know, becoming unicorn is a milestone. Becoming profitable is a milestone. IPO is a milestone. But you have to think big.
Fair enough. And then 2 other points, you actually covered multiple points. Hire right was within that only.
Yeah, I think hiring is very important, and the last part could be culture itself. Like,
Yeah.
You have to build the right culture. Because शुरू में तो you will matter. Like I'll matter as an individual. Then the entrepreneur will matter as an individual.
Yeah.
But उसके बाद, like once you when you build a team, like it's the way team functions. It's a team game. Like it's not a one-man show.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you hire the right people, but also how do you enable them to take bold bets? How do you build a culture which is very inclusive, जहाँ fear of failure कम हो और ना हो. Like people are not afraid of taking bold bets and failing and yet moving forward. Ideas win versus hierarchy. Like a person at the lowest level should be confident enough to question the CEO and the founders कि यार what you're doing is wrong.
Okay.
According to me. So that kind of culture, like inclusive culture, right ideas win culture is very important.
ये आप लोगों का स्टार्टिंग से रहा लेकिन ऐसा?
Yes. तो वो ये होता है कि शुरू में आप 2 लोग हो, and then me and Vidit we started this company. So
and generally लोग विदित का फेस ज़्यादा दिमाग में एसोसिएट करते हैं with
Definitely.
Meesho. So I'm really happy to have Sanjeev because I get a completely different story
Yeah.
to Meesho.
no, thank you. Excited to be here. But yes, 2 लोग शुरू में yes 2 लोग
It
होते
was just the 2 of you.
just 2 of
And
us.
the good story is that he went to ask him कि भाई मेरी भी लगा दे इन मूवी में नौकरी. And he
No, I
said,
think that's not true. So,
okay.
But I did went to him for a
हाँ.
different thing. So story ये है कि college we were very good friends in college, same hostel, काफी अच्छे दोस्त. फिर I went to Japan, तो वहाँ 3 साल निकाल लिया. 3 साल के बाद लगा कि
You've done an internship with Samsung and then you went for Sony.
Yes, it's Samsung in India and then Sony in Tokyo headquarters. So working as software engineer for consumer cameras, so building their software. So वहाँ पे after 3 years or closer to 2.5 years, I started thinking कि अब लाइफ में आगे क्या करना है. Like you can continue this job, it's a decently paying job, like comfortable work-life balance and blah blah. Sony में हमें 929 में जाके टैप करना होता था, like that card that you have to tap into the card reader.
सब कॉर्पोरेट लोग
Exactly.
कमेंट्स में बताएंगे वो चेक इन चेक आउट का जो बकर होती है लाइफ में. Yes,
So
please continue.
if you don't do it, then by 929, 930 हो गया तो आपका हाफ डे लग जाता था. Like
Really?
so if you get like 20 days of leaves, so
वो
half
cut
day is
किया.
gone from that. हाँ.
Oh, shit.
And you do that for like 8 or 9 times, उसके बाद जब आप करोगे तो फुल डे कटने लगता है, which is like huge, like it's a big deal.
Of course.
2 minutes late हुए, like, but still, like that is the amount of value that punctuality has. Trains run within a minute of delay. Like if a train is delayed for like 5 minutes, you get a certificate in the station जहाँ आप निकल रहे हो कि यार train got delayed for 5 minutes, and you can punch that into the HR system of Japanese companies. कि I tapped this card at 9:35 because my train was late by 5 minutes.
Oh wow!
So that is the way they have organized their entire infrastructure and the culture.
So the three things that you take back from Japan are the punctuality and two other things, because I'm really interested in that culture.
So I think second, they're very soft spoken. So you'll really enjoy the hospitality. Like everybody will, even in the company, like people generally are very nice. They'll be soft spoken. They'll
चिलम चिली नहीं होती फिर.
So चिलम चिली नहीं होती है. Like there's no shouting around.
And how do you reprimand in that scenario?
हाँ. So I think वहाँ पे there's a lot of respect for people above you. So people who you report to and so on. Like बहुत ज़्यादा respect है. So even if someone is giving you feedback, you'll take it very seriously. So I think चिलम चिली करनी पड़ती है because probably people feel कि if I don't do that, my direct reports will not take it seriously. वहाँ पे वो नहीं है. वहाँ पे like if you just give a feedback, people will take it. People will improve themselves. And वहाँ पे people are also in the company for a very long time.
Yeah.
Like they retire from the same company, most of them.
Oh really?
Yes.
So somebody who stayed in Samsung will stay in Samsung for 30-40
very
years.
likely. Very likely.
Amazing.
So वहाँ पे goal at least was always then, like most of the older people, to retire from the same company, so that compounding of institutional knowledge was valued. काफी.
Okay.
But yeah.
Interesting. Third, एक और चीज कुछ बहुत जोर से सीख के आया जो जापान से आप?
Organized बहुत है. So like their project management practices are phenomenal. So ये Six Sigma concept came from
of course.
Japan, and so that shows the amount of the way they pursue excellence in terms of managing a project, solving a problem. Attention to details is phenomenal.
With all of this, also you had a good package, I'm assuming?
Package decent, I think savings अच्छी थी, but life is very lonely there. So
really?
And we had like a group of Indian friends, but
that's
in general life is lonely. Like I don't think in Tokyo at least people interact with their neighbors a lot, and then उतना interaction तो नहीं.
वही developed country का.
Exactly. Like depression is a big problem there.
Those are clearly the things that we have in our country, which are just so much better. But the challenge also comes from there, ना. हम तो वो देश हैं भाई जहाँ पर आदमी बिठा के आपको साड़ी दिखाता है 25 तो कम बोलती मैंने 250.
हम तो millions of products दिखाते हैं.
हाँ,
but online, yes.
Correct. So then, but you're tackling the customer who is used to that kind of hospitality at a shop.
Yeah.
और चाय भी पिलाता है, वो पानी भी पिलाता है.
Correct.
So how do you crack that online?
So online for us, like हमारे users mostly are tier 2 cities and beyond, but also now we are now seeing people in urban areas also getting interested because everybody has become value conscious. But because वहाँ पे there's a new user base like which came online in the last 5 to 6 years post Geo revolution happened.
Yeah, the internet revolution of India.
Internet revolution of India, and then COVID helped a lot in accelerating this transformation because a lot of people had to forcefully buy online.
Yeah.
There was option ही नहीं था.
Correct.
So that helped in building trust. But yes, I think building for this segment, some people call them Bharat users, but essentially like the real India that you have.
वो तो हिंदी ऑडियंसेस को हम भारत यूजर्स बोलते थे.
हाँ नहीं, not really. I think भारत यूजर्स का डेफिनेशन आजकल ये है कि you remove the top 50, 60, 100 million users. बाकी जो बचे everybody is भारत users.
Okay.
So the e-commerce that was built earlier, which is let's say Flipkart, Amazon, etc. They were built for metro cities because they were the only ones who would kind of buy online, and वो खरीदते भी brands थे. And hence branded products became the main products that got sold in these platforms. Yeah. So when Meesho started 2015 में, that was the insight that we had कि यार अभी like e-commerce hasn't reached real India, and SMBs are not really selling online. Like India's SMB economy, like more than 85% retail is powered by SMBs.
आप हमको full form भी बताते रहना क्योंकि मुझे पता है but लोगों को नहीं पता.
Yeah, I think small businesses. Basically think of it as very small businesses, individual manufacturers, wholesalers. दुकानें भी जो होती हैं वो. हाँ, दुकानें भी small businesses, correct. किराना stores आपके small businesses हो गए. So e-commerce had not really penetrated into deeper parts of the country. So हमने अपना mission बनाया कि we will democratize internet commerce for everyone. So हम e-commerce को लेके like we'll go to all remote corners of the country on customer side. Supplier side पे will enable all SMBs to come online and sell online. And that was a vision that we had. तो वहाँ से yes, I think building for this Bharat users is hard because
value conscious है.
Value conscious है. तो one is designing the entire business supply chain, like low cost रखना है आपको. So that is where we launched this 0% commission like about few years back, and that was an industry first in India. के
फिर कमाते कैसे थे?
हाँ, exactly. So अभी ये है कि so the two main sources of revenue, ads, which is suppliers run ads on Meesho to get inorganic visibility.
Okay.
Now, second source of revenue is fulfillment revenues, which is logistics revenues that we kind of shipment fees that we take from users. Now, not main is ads. Now, the 0% commission is more like any supplier can come and list any product that they want as long as it is legal on Meesho, and they'll get some organic visibility.
Okay.
And वहीं से fairness concept आया. We wanted to build a fair marketplace because you can't democratize internet commerce if you are not fair to everyone.
Yeah.
Who's participating in your ecosystem.
मतलब अंधेरी वाली दुकान वाले को और बैंड्रा वाले को भी सेम आदमी देख पाएगा.
Exactly. So you give them visibility and then let the meritocracy take it over. So if they're doing really well in terms of आपने अगर X number of views दिए हैं, उसमें से इतना conversion हुआ, इतने orders place हुए.
Correct.
उन orders में से reviews are largely positive. आप delivery time पे निकाल रहे हो, like shipment कर रहे हो.
Fulfillment हो रही है मतलब.
Fulfillment हो रही है सही से. तो then the supplier is doing well, will keep increasing their visibility. But if supplier is not doing that, and for example reviews अच्छे नहीं है, product quality अच्छी नहीं है, so we pass that review back to supplier कि यार there is some problem, you need to fix it. But that is where fairness comes into picture. कि यार everybody gets their own fair share. Now, if you can prove that you are doing really well, we will keep giving you more visibility. If you want inorganic visibility, then you have to pay to the platform to run ads. But that is again, ads.
और उसमें काफी बार काफी लोग भड़क भी जाता है.
I think ads में surprisingly हमें भी लगता था कि people will not run ads. So historically वो belief थी कि इंडिया में SMBs से ad revenue लेना has been hard and almost impossible, right? Like people keep saying कि यार इंडिया में नहीं बेच सकते आप like ads. But we found it very other way around. Like we kind of built this interface to run ads and to convey the value prop. समझाना कि यार if you run ads, what will happen? आपका ROI क्या होगा या कितने orders आएंगे? So that was so easy and so convenient and simple for them that a lot of them ended up running ads, and that is where it became profitable as well. Over the last 12 to 18 months, our revenues became 2x or more than 2x.
Yeah, 300% growth.
So
crazy, bro. Good
yeah,
stuff.
I think
again, like can't say good things about that enough.
Thanks.
But आप जो बता रहे थे story and we got digressed. Is the आप गए आत्रे साहब के पास और what is that conversation like? हाँ.
No, yeah, interesting. So वो 2.5 साल के बाद I realized कि okay, क्या करना है लाइफ में next. So we thought कि okay, काफी सोचने के बाद आया कि यार maybe we should try to build something which has massive impact.
So you didn't ask for a job from you? No, not like get me.
No, and अभी तक I haven't spoken to Atre after college. We are connected in WhatsApp group, which होता है like all hostel close friends are connected in WhatsApp. वो चल रहा होता है like that बकर चल रहा होता है. But I hadn't spoken to him. I didn't know कि he was also thinking of starting. But अभी ये है कि this is like April 2015. मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि यार start करते हैं. कुछ तो build करना चाहिए. And then one startup from Bangalore reached out to me.
Okay.
And me being the tech guy, they said कि यार I need AI expert or natural language processing to be specific. वो expert चाहिए, and will you be okay with helping us and joining us? I said सही लग रहा है. There's one opportunity to get closer to startup ecosystem, and startup ecosystem was getting built up then. Like
2015 की बात हो रही है ना? 2014-15.
हाँ, 15. This is 15 April, and then तब like you'd see like lot of new startups coming up. वो 1-1.5 साल में बहुत सारा action था. But I was far away, so I did not know what is the right decision. So, and I knew कि Atre was in Bangalore, and this startup was in Bangalore. So I called Atre कि यार, this startup reached out to me. So what do you think about this? And he said, I didn't know you're interested. तो भाई करते हैं साथ में फिर. That is simple, like yeah. And क्योंकि कॉलेज में हमने इतना साथ में काम किया था, projects किए थे, usual ना, you get to know each other really well. 4 साल लंबा टाइम होता है. तो
but how was IIT Delhi?
Delhi was. Here, I miss those days. Like वो 4 साल कैसे निकला पता नहीं चला. Like lot of fun.
I think पहला एक साल everyone who talks about
exactly college में वही होता है. Like वो time तो I don't think you can match it with any other time. Like lot of fun, lot of learnings, lot of great friends you make then. like उसके बाद थोड़ा मुश्किल होता है.
But your romance starts in IIT Delhi only, no?
So with it, yes, we spent.
No, not the Vidit romance, the wife romance, Shalvi's romance.
Acha, you mean that romance, not the business romance? I thought, okay. I was asking about like, did he think of starting?
No, congratulations on the baby also.
Thank you.
Yes.
So that baby is now 8 months old.
Sir, आपको मैं pause करूँगा. इनके 10 साल में 9 post है Instagram पे. That's how much he talks on social media. But yes, now we can continue.
Yeah, I'm trying to build that habit.
One post a year is good.
Maybe I'll try to make it 2.
Yes. Done, no problem.
Yeah, but no, I met her later. I met her in 2018. Yeah. So through a friend, but yes, not in college.
Not in college. No college romance. Only the Vidit romances from college.
Yeah, a lot of good friends from college.
Yeah. So in college, did you think ever that you'd be starting up and you'd do something so big?
No, never. Like college I discovered this interest in technology. To be honest, like before that, so I grew up in small town, right? Like small town, mein kya hota hai? Like you want to career is decided mostly by society. Like you either want to become a engineer, you're motivated, you're pushed to become an engineer or a doctor. Like, I come from a lower middle class family, so paisa is like matters. Like you want to reach a stage where at least you don't have to think about money, like the basic life set है. अब क्या करें? Like ये तो हो गया, मतलब अब next क्या करेंगे? And then I started trying out like programming, कुछ build कर लिया, and then I realized technology sounds interesting. Tried out my hands at robotics as well.
और वेबसाइट पे जाके इंस्पेक्ट एलिमेंट वाले कीड़ा कांडी करते थे आप.
So front end में नहीं करता था. I was not very interested in front end until then. Front end, to be honest, मैंने पहली बार develop किया when I had to build Meesho website.
Oh really?
It was hard. Like front end is hard, dude. Like very hard. Like I can build back end, but I have built Android apps. So शुरू में like obviously I am the coder, I am the founder, I am the CTO.
Yes, you're the CTO.
एक ही है, मतलब one man. With this handling business,
खुद ही रात को बैठ के कोड कर रहा है.
Exactly. I built the backend, I built the Android, I built the website. And website build करना was the hardest for me. Like बहुत difficult है.
Tech का कीड़ा था, but entrepreneurship का नहीं था. मेरे को बताओ कि is there a and this is for everybody who's watching, a business student or whatever, कि एक जो गूदा चाहिए होता है. What is that one element that you need to have in you to sustain a startup?
I think confidence बोल लो आप, perseverance बोल लो, being at it, that attitude बोल लो, fighter spirit बोल लो, like all of this is same. Like you just have to be at it for a very long period, and hence like that fighter spirit, that perseverance has to be there.
Okay.
If you can just be at it for a very long time, you can learn a new skill, you can crack a new problem, you can find a founder, you can find a business, and everything gets solved. But it's about investing time without losing motivation.
Yeah.
It's very simple.
लड़ाई और प्यार का क्या रिश्ता है आपका founders के बीच का?
So I think fortunately अभी तक, because so we've also realized कि so journey, entrepreneurship is hard because there are lots of highs and lows. And when you're going through that phase of lot of lows, right? Lows could be like you're trying to speak to hundreds or maybe I don't know, hundreds is a lot, but tens of investors, and nobody is getting it.
Yeah.
You don't know whether your company is going to be able to raise the next round of funding or not. You don't know if the current business is going to work or not. So I think there are a lot of lows. Now, when you're going through a low phase, that is when it creates problems.
Yeah,
because if you don't have trust, exactly, and if you don't trust your founder, like there's no one to discuss with, and who else better than your co-founder, because context है, like सबको एक दूसरे के बारे में पता है, सबको कंपनी के बारे में पता है. So to have that honest conversation and to trust the other one, because we divided, तो founder कैसे चुनते हैं? Like we need complementary set of responsibilities, right? And then supplementary other doesn't help.
Correct.
So it has to be complementary set of responsibilities. Now, so which means you have to trust the other person to live up to.
Department तो संभाल.
Exactly. So वो trust तभी आएगा if you are a good friend and if you spend some amount of time. It makes it very easy.
Yeah.
And between me and Vidit, that was like the thing that helped a lot. So obviously there'll be healthy conflicts, there'll be debates, arguments, but the trust matters a lot. If trust is there, you'll always come back stronger.
Chalo, good stuff, man. And how much does it hurt to let go of equity, and how do you decide on that?
Yeah.
How much do you let go of?
So I think it's negotiation. So I don't think you can decide before going into fundraise that you have to let go of 15% or 20% or even 25% of the equity.
इससे ऊपर नहीं जाएंगे, इसके नीचे नहीं आएंगे.
Very difficult because देखो, you're raising funding because you know that you need funding to grow to next level. Most probably. Right? If you're profitable, then you command a very different sort of bargain. But if you're not profitable and just to live through it and to continue to grow, you need money.
Yeah.
Now you need money. उसके बाद valuation, dilution is a function of demand supply. Like आपकी कितनी demand है market में? How many investors are bought into your idea? How well are you able to sell your vision? How well does your numbers speak the story and confirm to that story? I think all of that matters.
यार हम Mashable Mornings पे हैं, तो आपके मॉर्निंग रूटीन के बारे में ना बात करें ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. कुछ है आपका ऐसा?
No, I think simple routine है. I generally get up in the morning now with my small child, like with my kid. अब तो I have to get up at 6. I used to get up at 7, but I've shifted that because he gets up at 6.
That's not bad. You're still a morning person then.
Yeah, I'm a morning person, and over the last couple of years I've started focusing more on fitness. Okay. So, but usual morning routine, I get up and I think over time you build this habit कि यार उठने के बाद you have to check WhatsApp because there are certain fires at times that need to be handled.
100%.
So if there are no fires, which happens to be luckily most of the time, but you still have to check. Now there are no fires.
Bad time. Yeah, good times.
So then, अच्छा चलो, now we start our morning routine. I just do exercise. Try to do it 4 to 5 days a week.
Not
now,
bad.
उसके बाद have a healthy breakfast. I'm a very lazy person. Like.
Okay.
By nature, so I had to force myself to start my day post that. So I asked my EA, my assistant, to kind of executive assistant, to kind of set the meeting right at 9:30 or 10. So that forces me to show up in office at 10.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So that makes, so basically that is one learning, right? Like you work around the shortcomings that you have. Because,
yeah.
So that because I'm a lazy person, I force myself to kind of show up in offices 10, 9:30, whatever, and meeting starts. And उससे पहले, like generally I tend to look at my calendar and look at the meetings and look at the problems that need to be solved to be mentally prepared, because there are times when you need to solve hard problems during the day, and just keeping that at the back of the mind also helps in subconsciously thinking about it, finding better solutions.
Crazy, you all did pick up funding during the OG winter, the 2015 winter.
Yeah, it was a winter, but it was hard. Like I think we spoke to some
funding winter की बात कर रहा हूँ मैं. अगर आप लोगों को नहीं पता, क्योंकि अभी रिसेंटली विंटर गई है, अभी गई है नहीं गई.
आई थिंक इट्स बेटर. तो 2021 वाज क्रेजी, 22 वाज विंटर, 23 में it seems like VCs have a lot of dry powder, but founders have not. There are not enough founders who are starting up. But also bar on the fundraise has gone up, and now people are questioning business models a lot. You have to show a viable business model. Numbers have to be decent. Pre-product market fit उठाना मुश्किल है, and so on.
Burn rate उतना अच्छा नहीं feel कर रहा.
Exactly.
मतलब लोगों को burn rate उतना अच्छा नहीं लग रहा. But going back to 2015,
yeah.
How were you navigating the winter that time?
So, I think honestly, we were very optimistic. We start up and then it'll take a couple of months for us to raise funds. And we started up in July 2015, like 1st July, I remember. Now, 1st July 2015, but क्या है, 2 महीने लगेंगे, we'll launch the product, we'll raise fund and then chill, फिर we'll grow from there. कितना मुश्किल क्या होगा? Because we are coming from that happy time of 2014 जब funding तो ऐसे हुई है. So
बस walk in करना था VC.
Exactly. There's a hope, and we met everyone. Like we met some 30-40 people, and then 10-20 into the journey we realized अच्छा इतना easy तो नहीं है. This is not going to happen. So and then we changed our business model once around November 2015. And said अच्छा ठीक है, अब तो ठीक लग रहा है, अब तो थोड़े numbers भी हैं. Then we started meeting again. फिर नहीं हो रहा है. And we used to go to a lot of these conferences and catch hold of angel investors. We do a lot of cold mailing as well.
Of course.
So I think all in all we would have met maybe or reached out to maybe 100 angel investors.
Really?
Yes.
India and Southeast Asia?
It's mostly India. A
Okay.
few in Southeast Asia, but mostly India because we're not very confident कि beyond India जाके convert भी होगा. यही नहीं हो रहा. तो but yeah, surprisingly, Bangalore was very difficult for us. We went to these conferences and met investors. They're all here and they'll say nah, or they'll say later nah. So it was not working out, and then somehow we got this one commitment from a Delhi investor. We thought यहाँ तो नहीं हो रहा है. College Delhi में था. Maybe वहीं कुछ होगा. So yeah, me and we both traveled there, and yeah, it took 2 weeks, but then we So we finally ended up raising the first round in January 2016.
How much and from whom?
So that initial commitment, so the investor was leading it was Venture Highway, basically Neeraj Arora, who was WhatsApp head of business then.
Oh, super.
So he put the maximum amount of money, and then there are other pretty good angels like Rajul Garg, who is investing in a lot of startups. He was CEO of Global Logic, or founder of Global Logic at some point in time. Him, and then Kashyap Devra, the guy who wrote this Golden Time book.
Yes,
and
some
a bunch of other, a bunch of other people. But I think it was hard. Like the first round was very hard for us, and then YC happened, Y Combinator happened, where Y Combinator is one of the
लोगों को पता होना जरूरी है.
Yeah, so Y Combinator is one of the pretty good accelerator program in Valley, which selects, let's say, 100 startups, or you select about 100 startup every cycle.
उनको बढ़ावा भी देते हैं और
exactly, they invest as well. That's a good exposure. You get to build a good network, and that happened. And then we're the third Indian company overall ever to get selected in YC then.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's big, boss.
Yeah. So Tab, I think it was YC was not very focused in India.
Okay.
But after us, or after, I wouldn't say us, but after some companies. Yeah, I think it seems like they realized कि यहाँ भी है potential.
You all also had the child phase going for you all. Did you all get gauged ever कि यार तुम लोग तो बच्चे हो types? I remember the first photos, whether two of you sitting, one of you standing, one of you sitting after the first kind of this thing, investment. You all look like you're just out of college, no?
No, we were young for sure. Like अब तो yes, बाल भी पक गए, but
पहले 5 hire कैसे करता है आदमी जब startup करता है?
Very hard, like because anything that you do for the first time, the chances of making error are very high.
Yeah.
Like, I myself have made errors. First hiring is still easy. First firing is hard, but because hiring mein there are chances of mistakes. Firing mein you have to do it.
You won't believe my question starts with firing and then has hiring.
Okay, but yeah, we'll come to firing. Hiring mein, I think so. Evaluating on the technical skill set is still easy because me being a technical founder, you build the system, so you'll understand tech to a certain extent.
metrics हैं उसके तो आपके पास.
हाँ, उसके तो पता है कि whether this person knows or not. Hiring में culture fitment देखना is hard. Now culture in the early stage तो we don't even have a defined culture.
और gauge भी नहीं होता ना आपको आदमी.
Exactly, it's difficult, and you'll have to ask questions in certain ways to understand how will this person behave in certain situations, which then comes only over time. So a lot of chances of making mistake in culture fitment, but उससे भी ज़्यादा hard है convincing people to join, because there's nothing, like you're just two people, there's just one round from investors like you have raised, there's nothing else, there's no credibility, right? Like there's no credibility established, business तो build होना है अभी.
वो आपके लिए आते हैं, धंधे के लिए थोड़ा ना आते हैं.
Exactly. हाँ, exactly. They are bought into some extent vision of the company as well, but largely on the founders, and because they are taking risk. Like हमारे first few hires, I would say, for the first 3 years, like we started 15, 16, 17, 18 tak, we used to ask people to take a salary cut and then join us, because we'd give them ESOPs, obviously.
Correct.
But it's a big deal, like that market has changed now, like people don't come for salary cuts. But that was a good testing of whether they are really bought into the idea, or are they really just trying to, will they stick around or not, like in simple terms, like startup, if they don't stick around, you don't compound the knowledge, and then so I think convincing people to join this is going to be the big thing is hard, and that took a lot of time. I would have done like a lot of interviews, a lot of just engagement sessions to convince people and answer, like to an extent where one person came back, and we were having this engineer, and this again 2016 came back. We found him to be technically good, culture fit as well. Offer दिया, he said नहीं, मेरे father नहीं मान रहे. मैं बोला that doesn't look like the right reason, but
ठीक है.
Really like मतलब. But then I said to an extent कि यार I'm okay with convincing your father as well. And that is about a desperation that you are in, because finding talent is hard. Now when you find someone, you'll go to any extent to convince people.
Fair.
We'll do it.
3 things that you should do for hiring a person.
I think one is just knowing what went wrong. So make it a very non-emotional conversation. So it's not about you telling someone to leave the company. It's about like making them understand what went wrong. Because the worst thing you can do is tell them to leave the company and also not tell them why.
Yeah.
So because then if they really have a growth mindset, they'll then take that feedback and hopefully improve over time, right? So we tell them, so basically go with preparation.
Yeah.
Clearly understand what was the expectations. Were their expectations communicated well or not? assuming it was communicated well. Now, then tell them that these were the expectations. This is how you do it. This is how you do it, and you could have done better in these scenarios. Now, after all of this, obviously there'll be a lot of to and fro, and that is where the human element comes into picture, right? You have to make a judgment call of, I think either this person is understanding or not understanding. Understanding, great. If not understanding, then try to find a better way to kind of convey that, have conversation. In all of this, it's also important to help them find their next job. So if you can, and especially in the early stages, right? Because now to Meesho has a name, so people who leave Meesho and go to other places, the future employer will understand that Meesho is a decent company and they're coming from a decent company. But early stages mein, people wouldn't even know, okay, this is a random startup.
But AI, ke aap expert ho. So this is not the kind of AI that we at the end, this year in 2023 at least the consumer started using. This is a very B2B centric AI that you've developed. वो क्या है? How do you deploy it? मोटा संक्षेप में बताना हो तो.
Yeah, sure. So, just to call out, I'm not an AI expert. I just believe in AI. I learn more about AI over time. But yes, so we have used AI in many places. Personalization, recommendation. So हमारी जो feed generate होती है ऐप में, so हमारे पास millions of products हैं. उनमें से कौन से 20 are most relevant for you? Like filtering those 20 is done by AI. Again, using a lot of signals. But talk about generative AI, which is the new thing in the market. Has been there for the last couple of years. ChatGPT from OpenAI, I think, prime example of that. So we have used generative AI internally to automate our customer support chats. So large percentage of that chats are now automated, powered by machine, and we are surprised by seeing the performance and accuracy of it. Like, yes. So the CSAT, this is a score that we measure, which says how satisfied customers were with the conversation.
Okay.
CSAT of machine is better than human, which is a big deal. Like they're able to do it. They're able to have more empathetic conversation, not get irritated during conversation. So that's a big deal. Like, so
database में ये दिखा रहा है मैडम मैं क्या बताऊँ आपको?
I think yes. So they'll just explain it in a very nice way, and we do have a fallback when machine fails. We fall back to humans, of course. But that has worked out pretty well. But yes, generative AI has a lot of potential. We are now experimenting with trying to apply it everywhere in many areas. We'll see.
And what is the future plan for Meesho?
So a lot. We currently have about, let's say, 140 million annual transacting users. So एक साल में कितने लोग transact करते हैं? Roughly 140 million.
ठीक है.
Now, how do we take it to next level? How do we take it to hundreds of more millions of users in the country? Right. So expansion, scaling is one big part of our plan in future, like in the near future. Second is category expansion. So while we do sell a lot of different categories, fashion, home and kitchen, decor, beauty and so on, but how do we go a lot more deeper into each of these categories and increase our selection and make a lot of regional selection available?
Correct. That will be amazing.
Yeah. And third is just applying AI across. So how do we go deeper and explore a lot more? How do we create a much better experience in the marketplace for users, for suppliers? How do we make it easier for suppliers to list, and so on, using AI? Because now we feel that AI can solve a lot of problems, a lot more than we have currently done. So we are making advancements in, let's say, introducing deep learning based rankers on the personalization side, and improving our search, improving our understanding of vernacular searches.
Interesting.
हमारे यहाँ voice search बहुत होता है, so 25% of the users search actually by talking.
अरे वाह यार.
So how do we improve the accuracy of that? So a lot of such.
And they can get irritated also, na, because they're talking into a device and not to you.
Exactly. So how do you become accurate there?
But अगर numbers क्या बता सकते हो आप हमको? सिर्फ top line बता सकते हो? Is that?
So I think 140 million overall. So one number was 140 million annual transacting users.
Correct.
Second, we were the fastest shopping app ever to reach cumulative 500 million downloads.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So in the world. So I think that is second. That I'll definitely call it out. Third is overall we are fourth or fifth biggest retailer in the country with 5 billion in GMV.
Wow.
Yeah, I think our festival season also went pretty good while we reduced our marketing spend by 80%.
You reduced your marketing spends
by 80%.
Yes.
And which was also one of the reasons why we became profitable, because we became very cautious with our spend. But even then, during festival season, This festival sale, we grew by 40% year over year. So that speaks volumes about the optimization that we have done on the organic installs, as well as whatever we spend, how do we get most bang for the buck that we spend.
No, that's super, boss. Congratulations for all of this. But bottom line is through advertising and through
fulfillment revenues. Yeah, that's the bottom line. Yeah.
And like, is the D2, I'll repeat that question.
Yeah.
Is the last mile delivery chapter taken from the Amazon books, or it's something that you all also had to innovate and like figure?
So last mile delivery, so today delivery is managed by a third party logistics. Fair. And they're doing a really good job there. So I don't think we had to innovate a lot in last mile delivery yet.
ठीक है.
So
क्योंकि वहाँ पर कई सारी चीजें होती हैं.
Yeah.
और returns का कितना tension होता है?
So returns is there, and because people are buying without looking at the product, so naturally people should return. If they're not returning, they're not really believing in the platform. So it's a problem, but that is where, like, how do you use data more to show the right quality products to right people, filter out really bad performers by looking at data again, ratings, reviews. The problem with us is quality also keeps changing. So today, because these are unbranded products, right? Like the next batch that gets manufactured will have a very different quality.
Correct.
So how do you bring in recency bias to the ratings and understand quality from that angle? So a lot of interesting technical problems there on identifying bad actors, identifying not so great products in the platform, feeding them out, or doing the right demand supply matching, keeping quality in mind. So yeah.
आपका web check-in हो रखा है?
Web check-in हो रखा है.
हाँ फिर ठीक है.
Yeah. I think web check-in
मेरे पास और 2 मिनट और हैं क्या ये समझने के लिए. But ये बताओ फिर लोगों को साथ लेके चलने वाली बात तो आपने बता दी. But जो कल्चर आपने बताया, what is the culture of Meesho?
So I think so culture में क्या होता है? Like one is autonomy. Like if you hire really good people, they'll need autonomy. क्या आप उनको freedom दे पा रहे हो? तो freedom दो, goal दो, and then freedom दो on how to achieve that goal. Okay. Which means they should decide their own path. They should figure out which are the right problems to solve to achieve this goal. So autonomy is one part. Second is, while doing that, do they get to become better at what they do?
Okay.
Right? Like if they're coding, like are they becoming a better coder? Are they becoming a better engineer? Are they becoming a better architect?
Yeah.
So while doing that, are they getting to grow in their career? Are there positions in the company which kind of enables them to grow? And third is, I feel, purpose itself. Like, do they really understand why they are doing all of this? Because building a startup is hard. People have to stretch a lot. Like profitability for us was hard. Like it took a year. We took a goal. I don't think many people believe that we'll be able to do it outside the company. But we really pushed hard at it.
ये जो एक बीच में ये हुआ था कि मीशो के प्रोडक्ट बड़े सस्ते हैं या मार्केट में नाम ऊपर नीचे हो रहा था, तो उसको कैसे टैकल किया आप लोगों ने?
I think हमने काफी structurally prices कम किए थे.
Okay.
Which might have led to this perception, but हमने काफी optimization किया था to make sure that we don't spend a lot in logistics. हमने logistics charge कम किया था. हमने server cost reduce किया था by 60%. So all of that led to reduction in product price. Without cost, without making compromises on quality.
Interesting.
So it was good for the consumers.
Okay.
In a way. Yeah.
But अच्छा है. Thank you so much for being on Mashable Mornings and sharing these amazing stories with us. If you're a business student who's learned something, please let us know your insights in the comments below. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Nice talking to you.
Sanjeev Barnwal. I don't know how they did not make fun of your second name in college.